Here to discuss whether playing favorites is much more common than generally believed are child psychologist Dr. Jennifer Hartstein and Jeffrey Kluger, author of The Sibling Effect. He's also the science editor at Time magazine. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Is it true? Do parents all have favorites?
Absolutely.
We would agree on that.
We would agree on that. One of the studies that we looked at Time magazine showed that 65% of all fathers and 70% of all mothers exhibit a preference for one child. Now keep in mind the key word here is exhibit,
yeah.
because the other ones may simply be doing a better job of covering it up, but that doesn't mean they don't have a favorite.
Right. Jen, can something like that be pretty harmful, though, to the kids involved?
Well, I think it really depends on how you are exhibiting that. So if you are always showing a preference for that kid, so that's the kid you take with you when you go out, and that's the, oh, I want to run an errand, oh, Sammy, come with me, that, and the other child is left home, they are going to start to feel potentially less worthy, less important, and they do internalize that and feel less validated by their own presence. So you have to be really mindful of how it can impact both kids, and the other one might feel like, I'm the greatest, I get everything I want,
right.
And that's going to not be so great for them later in life either. So you want to be careful about how you exhibit. But loving and liking your children are two different things, and you have to be aware of, you might like one more than the other. That's just fact.
Well, I know we were talking about this earlier, but I know at some points in time, I think I like certain of my children more than I like them at other times. But I mean, what a parent ends up saying usually is, "I love you all. I just love you differently," right?
That's exactly right, and that's, I mean, what we were just saying. The idea of loving and liking. Keep in mind, parents can love their children with an equal lay down my life ferocity for all of them, but they can say, maybe this child has now entered adolescence when the dark spawn has appeared instead of the child I raised, and suddenly I'd rather spend more time with this other child. Maybe if I were a high school athlete and I had a son who was an athlete, he may be my natural favorite. But if I also have an artistic side and I have a daughter and I want to talk about art and movies, she's my favorite when I need a little quiet time. So these things are all play out in domains.
And I think that's what happened in this article, right, with this blogger, is that we were talking about the fact that he's like, my 5-year-old and I can do more together than my 2-year-old and I can do. And that's going to change. And that doesn't mean that both aren't very important special relationships to him. It just means in this moment, I can do more with you, or I can relate to you better. And isn't that how all of our relationships in our lives are?
But don't you have to be careful about saying something like that out loud and the way you say it?
Absolutely. And I think that's where the backlash comes, right? Now it's out there for the whole world to see. And 15 years from now, when we get on the internet and we blog about our dad, or we Google or search our dad, and that comes up, we might feel really badly. So it's important that we are mindful about what we say, how we say it, how we put it out there, similarly to how our actions are going to show our kids what we are and who we are. We want to be careful about what we say about that.
That's a real shock. I mean, I'm sure that's going to come as a huge surprise to people.
Right.
You need to be more careful with your kids and what they know.
Well, exactly. And another important thing is, even if, as we saw in the clip, it's an open secret in the family that there's a favorite, there's an act of love in the mere fact of denying it to your kids. At least they know you're trying to protect them.
Jeffrey Kluger, Jen Hartstein, thanks, guys.
Thanks.